They always ask me like, where are you from? What do you do? I'm an artist. It's like, from where? I'm like, from Riverside. And they're like, what? They do art out there? And I'm like, yeah, of course they do. And just some of the people were like, they just didn't know Riverside for art. So I kind of took that a little personal, and I'm like, all right, well, hopefully one day I'll do art in my own town. So my name is Juan Navarro. I'm a local artist here in Riverside, California. I have an artist in residency with the Riverside Art Museum currently. I also do subcontracting or private contracting with other businesses locally here. A lot of my first murals take place here in the community, and I've worked a lot with the community. I became very close. So I always wanted to start something or give back as soon as I could. So the wall behind me is basically where my first mural ever in Riverside was. And as you can see, it's not there right now. So there's actually still a little bit of evidence that my mural was here. You see a little bit of the green here. So this is back in 2017. And so it was a while back, and really the goal of the project was beautification, but it was also a public health initiative. It's like, how can we be able to bring a better, a positive view in our community? How do people living here, how can they take ownership of it? How do they appreciate like the area where they live? And how can we do that? And that was through the arts. So that's kind of why I was super attracted to this project. This mural behind me is really special because when I was pitching it, they asked, well, how can it relate to health, but how can it include the community? And that was one of my most challenging things. I'm like, how can I think of something that will be inclusive, but also like me painting it as well? So what I did is just ask the community members like, hey, can everyone donate pieces of fabrics from the community that means something to you? And asked the doctors inside and the nurses in the clinic, I said, hey, can you guys tell me what's important to you and what health means to you? So on the right side, there were symbols of medical stuff that the doctors gave me, and then on the left side, there was the fabrics that were painted. So the fabric was a reference for the painting, and then this painting just came together. So this painting has over 20 people submitting ideas, and to me that was like a big thing. And it was a big thing for the community as well, because ages from 2-year-olds are able to donate a piece of fabric all the way to people beyond 40 giving ideas. Yeah, so this is Patterson Park mural. So we painted a tribute to all the families that use this park. We put different types of sports, and we didn't want to choose a skin color, so we did them in black and white on purpose, because this is an area where it was Latinos versus African Americans at one point clashing, and we wanted to just bring peace and let people know there's another type of lifestyle out here, and we're going to use this park because this belongs to everyone. So even though I'm a muralist and I do one piece of a big giant scope of projects with tons of partnerships, the people around me in the city of Riverside are really smart and talented. They're able to leverage these types of stories to bring in resources to spaces like this. So right now we're on Park and University, and the reason why this mural is so important to me is because it's really the entryway of the East Side community as a whole. We looked for community leaders across the East Side, and some leaders we worked in the past with and some were new. And we were able to come up with themes called Aspirations of the East Side. So we had 6 different artists participate, me being one of them, and we were able to represent the community and the thoughts that they had during that time. For me, one of my very proud accomplishments in terms of starting or providing a way with organizations to provide opportunities further than just myself for other artists as well. So right now we're at the Casablanca mural. This mural is full of symbolism found in the community. So we jump right into it. Literally across the bottom we have historical buildings starting from the right. Over here we have the church, how it looked like 100 years ago. In the center we have the school that was started 100 years ago. And off to the left we had the train depot, and that train depot was also here a very long time ago. It doesn't exist now, But all that was given to us from the local group that preserves the history of Casablanca, which is something they've been working on for years. This mural was just freshly painted 2 weeks ago and has recently been hit with graffiti. So what we're doing is just we're coming out and we're basically covering it up. But that's kind of like the risk that happens with these types of projects when, even though the process, community input, and working with other artists to create vibrant pieces from across the community happen, sometimes the maintenance of these projects can be a little bit difficult. Having a space like this allows me to create a project, and then I can just look over to the right or to the left and say, hey, what do you think about this? And have a second eye. And having that feedback versus having my own studio alone has already made me a much better artist. And I do the same for others as well. So having a community-based studio really has opened the doors of efficiency, creative efficiency. Also, even has allowed me to create teams of artists that can support as I grow. So I also invite them into some of my projects, and then other artists invite me into some of their projects as well. So I hope that one day, even if I begin to scale and I begin to bring in help and support, hopefully they can see those murals and oh, that's the Juan Navarro mural, even though I have a team to support me, because it really is a production to create a meaningful mural with a lot of elements, a lot of just a lot of work that goes behind it. It is almost like creating a one-frame cinema. Back in the day when there was no such thing as filmmaking and movie watching, murals were meant to tell stories, and I want to continue to grow my path and tell stories through my murals, and sometimes it's gonna take a large production to do so. So I'm at the brink of scaling, and I'm inviting that team of support. And yes, at the Eastside Art House, there's tons of talent around me. So I do invite people from the studio to join me on these endeavors.